What's up, party people? I am Ali from the band Zebrahead, and you are hanging out with 932. Yeah, good. This is a 4-week tour. We are 3.5 weeks into it. So it's a part of the tour where everybody's like kind of found their mojo, I guess. And everybody, like today our drummer said, hey, I started packing to go home. I'm like, dude, that's like 5 days away. But yeah, everybody's kind of, nearing the end of the tour and like getting used to everybody else. And now we're starting to slowly pack to go home. So. Yeah, we're very lucky because when we're not touring, we tend to go back home and take like a week off, and then we're back in the studio working on songs and stuff. So we're lucky in that we get to focus on music, either we're playing or we're writing. So, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So we really like it. And so actually when we go back, we have a handful of songs that we're working on now. So when we get back, we have a few months to try to finish those. Yeah, so once the pandemic happened, we kind of took a different approach to writing and then ultimately releasing. We had never really done an EP before. And then once Adrian joined the band, we came up with the concept of trying to record and release 3 EPs, like a countdown, 3, 2, 1. Mainly because we realized people were consuming music differently. When, like back in the day, I would buy, go Tower Records or whatever, buy an album, listen throughout the whole thing. Nowadays, it's like through streaming sites, you get it like a single. So people like, listen to one song and create their own playlists and all this stuff. So we thought we would try to catch up with the times, and it's been a great experience for us. Only in my experience, because when we write a full album, we write like 45 songs, pick like 18 of them, and then really work on those 18 and then put 12 on an album. The way we've been working with these EPs is we will write like 8 songs, put 5 on the album, and we just go through and make sure those songs are close to done as possible for us. So it really allows us to focus on each individual song more precisely and get it to the point where we feel like it's the strongest it could be. And also, I feel like as far as like being creative, it's way easier to work on 6 to 8 songs at a time, finish those, go on tour, come back, do another 5 to 8 songs. It's like a refreshing, you don't get kind of stuck in a rut. It's like constantly changing. So I've really enjoyed doing the EPs. I don't know if we're gonna continue to do the EPs, or go back to doing full albums when we're writing and recording, but the experience for us has been really positive. That's a good question. I think for me, when I'm writing, oftentimes you start with whatever experience you're experiencing at that time. That being said, there are times where something will remind me of something that happened in the past, and I will start thinking about that, and I'll be working on a song and I'll incorporate that. Not only that, but like if a close friend or a family member or something is experiencing something and you're kind of secondhand experiencing it, I use that as inspiration a lot as well. So it just depends on the song, but initially it's always like what I'm going through, what I'm experiencing, or somebody in the band is experiencing, and then it like opens up into like, oh yeah, you know what, this reminds me of 2 years ago when this happened, or my good friend is going through this. So it's kind of like a mix and match kind of thing, but it's all personal. Like it's the experiences that we've had or people close to us have had. That's the thing, you never really know what is gonna inspire you to write a song. It's whatever you feel a connection to in a real like strong way, especially because oftentimes too you'll be in a different part of your life where you're like, oh, we're not writing right now. So what you do is what I do is I take notes, and I'll like keep those in a place where if I need to come back for inspiration, I'll be like, oh yeah, I wrote something, a few months ago, and I'll go back and look at it and be like, oh no, I don't relate to it now, or oh yeah, it's a great, So I guess it just depends on the time of day, where you are, what your mood is like. It's just so random in a lot of ways, Both. Yeah, if there's like a lyric that I really like, I'll do that. Or if it's like, hey, it's like a wider concept, I'll also write that down. And then if I have a lyric to go with it, I'll put that underneath. It's just everybody has a way to organize, It's just the way I do it. I think in general, for us and me, the hardest part of writing is knowing when it's done. It's like because there's oftentimes you can go and be like, yeah, maybe I can tweak this, or there's a point where you have to say no, like this is good, like I'm not really happy with this, I don't want to touch it anymore. Knowing that took a long time for me. The longer we've been doing it, I feel like I've gotten better at it, but that is a very difficult thing, to be like, okay, I think the song is done. That's not an easy thing either. We talk about it a lot, and then we also go through and look at songs that are being like fan favorites, and it's easy to do that now because you can look at your Spotify or your Apple Music and see what songs people are listening to. So whenever we're in doubt of a song, we'll refer to that and say, you know what, actually, yeah, people like this song. It's like top 15 songs, or no, nobody's listening to this. Maybe let's work on a different song for the set list. But that is a conversation we get really heated about before we leave for tour. There's oftentimes like 3 set lists, and then like the day before we're like, okay, we're gonna go with this one, And then also what we do is we also have audible songs. So we'll be saying like, in case anybody's in the mood, we'll throw this one in there if you want. So we do it that way as well, to kind of make sure everybody is like excited to play the set, And if somebody feels strongly about a song and maybe it doesn't do that well on Spotify, we'll put it on Audible and like say, all right, dude, let us know, or let's play that tonight. So it makes it more fun. Changes. Yeah, I think like because when we play, I'll start with a new one. How about that? We have a new song called Puppet Stringers that is very heavy, and it's the newest release for us, and so we're not sick of playing it yet. So that one, for me, I really get excited about playing that one. And then another one that I think the crowd really likes is All My Friends Are Nobodies, because we also have a raft, and we put one of our friends on the raft, and they go and circle pit on this raft, and it's just a cool thing to watch. So I would, I guess, say, yeah, Puppet Stringers and All My Friends Are Nobodies. Teleportation, because then I can go home, hang out, and then come back whenever I want. It'd be like, oh my God, that'd be a game changer. Just in general for everybody, you could go wherever you want. Yeah. It's a good one. Yeah, I mean, festivals in general are blast, because not only you get to play these amazing shows, but you get to watch your friends' bands play, and sometimes you haven't seen these people in a long time, and it's great to catch up with them. So for me, festivals are a whole different experience, only because as a fan, I get to watch other bands that I really like play as well. And I think the energy is just different in festivals. I feel like people plan on really going hard at festivals rather than club shows. Sometimes it's like, oh, I gotta go to work in the morning, so I'm gonna be a little bit more like, not party as hard. But I feel like for festivals and stuff, everybody kind of expects it to be like a weekend thing, so they tend to go a little bit harder. So it's a little bit more out of control. So I think this summer will be a little bit more out of control than normal club shows. Hopefully, that's what I'm hoping for. Just for me, oftentimes my favorite memories are the first time when you experience something, just because you've never seen it before. But I remember, man, almost 30 years ago when we came here for the first time, we had the two people from the record label kind of escorting us everywhere, and they took us around town, like introduced us to like stroopwafels and like different sayings, and like, so I have like fond memories of that, our first time here. But I feel like in general, most of the places that I look back, I tend to go back to the first time I was there, because that's such a unique experience. It all goes back to the interaction with the crowd. If there's like a good vibe, those shows always stick out to me. And there's something very special that you can't really explain, but like when you're going through the set and you're like, oh man, totally connected with the crowd, it's just like this really weird high that you can't get any other way. This is from Hollywood Surrender, which we know, which is our friends. What was the weirdest catering food you got served at a show? I mean, so in America once, we were in Florida, I think, and the promoter took us out. And he took us to like this restaurant that had horse meat, alligator meat, and some kind of lizard meat. And I didn't eat it, but I just remember thinking, it's a first, like nobody's ever given us that kind of food before. So I would say in Florida somewhere we had, I don't know, horse meat or something. We didn't eat it, but it was there. They ordered it. All right, here's another one. This is from Johnny Silver, Pleasure Inc. Johnny, what do you do? Pleasure Inc. I should be asking you questions. If you could only listen to one artist for the rest of eternity, who would it be? One artist for the rest. I'm gonna go back to when one of my favorite bands growing up, and it's the Beastie Boys. I would be pretty stoked if I got to take some of their CDs with me to eternity. So, Beastie Boys, Johnny, let's talk about what you do at Pleasure Inc. next time I see you, okay? Fair enough? And then one more. Last one, guys, ready? This is by Letdown, okay? What's the strangest pre-show ritual you've ever tried? The weirdest pre-show ritual I've ever tried. You know what's weird to me? Actually, everybody in our band, when we tour with the band and then like right before they go on, they like hug and then they say something really positive, like, let's have a great show, or, 1, 2, 3, love, or whatever. Like for us, literally, that's weird as shit. Before we go play, we go to one another and say, don't fuck this up for me. That's literally what we say every single show. So whenever I'm watching another band and they're like, love you guys, we're gonna do great, or something like super positive, I just get this weird feeling in my stomach. So that's something that I can never get used to. It's always like, don't fuck up, man. Everybody's watching you. That's the go-to for us, so.